Well, welcome. Here we are, Spirit Speaks, back once again with Rebecca and Bernette.
Hello.
Okay, so today we are going to have another conversation with Arsa. Arsa is Bernette's guide, and so we're going to see what she has to say. I do have some questions for her, and I think a number of them will deal with guides, because people do have questions about guides and how to work with their guides and connect with them. So um, I have some questions about guides as well.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so we're going to open the session with a prayer, as we always do. We call in the divine light of Source Creator to set this time and space with love, light, and good intent. We open the sacred space to those who desire to share their stories and their truths with us, and may all that comes forth be of the highest good of all, and so it shall be.
And so it is.
Okay, well. Ready?
Ready?
All right, welcome, Crystal.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Yes, it's good to have you back. It was very interesting last time, and I'm quite sure it will be very interesting this time as well.
I hope so.
Yep. Okay, so I had we introduced you in the last two interviews. So if it's okay, I'm going to jump in with some questions about guides, since you are a guide. And
All right, I'll do my best to answer what I can. Yeah.
okay, all right. I was curious. Do you work as a guide for more than one person?
Not necessarily right now. Not at a time. Not for individuals at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So I work with Bernette, and I also oversee some other groups of other guides.
Okay. So do guides typically just work with one person? Are they like kind of dedicated to just working with that one person?
Depending on the level, you're usually assigned to a person because people are a lot of work. You guys take a lot. You require a lot, and there's a lot of coordination that's required, and being present and aware and engaged in your life. And the more a person's aware that they have a guide,
Mm-hmm.
the more that guide is able to work with them.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. Um, how are guides chosen? Do you choose the people you work with, or are they you assigned, or how does that work?
It can vary. It depends on the person and the guide. Some guides have lived here before on Earth, like myself. Some have never been here before. And so some you may have relationships with from past lives. You may have crossed paths and said, okay, based on what we're trying to do for both of our soul's progression, let's link up in this next lifetime so that we can work together. And I can help you from this side.
Mm-hmm.
Now, other people, they may have never connected paths. And so it's more of a spirit knows what you're trying to do, and they'll find and assign the best guide to help you do that. And sometimes it's based on your level of growth, awareness, how open you are, and also that guides. Not every guide is as evolved as some people may think. So you have what I consider new guides. I'll call them new guides.
Okay.
And they may be working with younger or less mature souls, I'll call them, Earth souls.
Mm-hmm.
And both of you are progressing up together. Then you have more mature guides who are working with more mature souls, etc. So there has to be a connection. Rarely will they assign a very mature guide to a very immature soul.
Okay. So, do we have a team of guides?
Absolutely. And those
Okay.
teams work together. So you have a team, your daughter has a team. Your teams may be doing stuff together to coordinate activities.
Hmm. Oh, okay. So, since we have teams, is it possible to have guides on our teams that should not be there, or tagging along, or just
There's a lot of spirits up here. There's a lot of energies up here. It's not like you form a team and then there's a big border around it that nothing else can ever come in or hang out or learn. Some
Mhm.
people are here to learn because in order to become a guide, you have to go through some training. You have to learn, you have to shadow. And so you may have people who were here, who were life forms in other places, who may be shadowing your team, who may
Oh,
be learning from your team so that they can do this work with someone else. And so they shouldn't really be active in decision making on your team,
okay.
but they may be learning, they may be watching. If they have a valid point of view, a valid input, your team's going to listen and consider it, but it's your team's job to help you in your soul's progression.
Okay. Um, is it possible at any given time to have team members not agree?
Yeah. That's like asking, is it possible at any time on your planet for a company, an organization to have people on their team that don't agree? Yeah, that's why you always have a team lead. You have a lead guide.
Okay.
And ultimately, that lead guide has the authority to say yes, no.
Oh,
Because
okay.
otherwise, there would be so much indecision, and then indecision lacks to no decision, and things wouldn't really get done. So, yeah, you have people who don't disagree here, just like you have your guides who may not always agree there. So, it's important to know that because
Mhm.
sometimes you may feel like you're getting pulled in different directions and you're asking for
Yes.
spiritual guidance and it
Yes.
feels like you're getting this message and then it feels like you're getting this message. That's because sometimes it hasn't really been worked out.
On the team.
Yeah.
Oh,
And so you're
wow.
asking, they're working it out, and if you're in tune, you're picking up some of those signals that are coming through and it's
Yes.
confusing you and you're not sure what to do. They're
Yes.
still trying to work it out for you. So
Oh, okay.
sometimes just be patient.
Okay. Okay, because it can be confusing. You're thinking you get, well, how did I get this answer this time
Yeah.
and another answer?
Because, I
And
mean,
so,
they may be very persuasive. You may have a team member who can make a clear argument and state some good reasons why you should follow this course. And everyone's listening to that and they're considering that.
hmm.
And then another team member comes in and presents a different scenario and outcomes and says, well, if they follow this course, this would happen, but then they might miss out on this opportunity. And for her life path, you really need her to go in this direction. I think we need to really reconsider the choice. And then suddenly, you've turned again, and then it feels like, why am I getting conflicting messages? Well, because one, you are, but it's not your fault. You are.
Hmm.
It's your team has to make a decision.
Ah, so what is happening when people say, um, I feel like I have a different guide, or, they feel like the guide has changed?
And they may be right. Their guide may have changed. They may have graduated, been promoted to a new guide. A guide
Hmm.
may have been promoted to their team. Someone else from their team may have floated off. So you can have
Ah,
movement because you figure these guides, they're living too. Just like you're living here and you're trying to do things and you're trying to rise up and make moves, they have things too. If they need to do their job well,
hmm.
in order for them to move up and make moves, they have to learn how to lead, how to guide, how to coach people in the right direction, how to influence positively. They've got to do all this stuff too. But when they do it well, they have an opportunity for their soul to move on, to learn something else. And that means that they might move off your team. But if you're doing your thing too, and it's your team might move along with you, you might move with your team because you guys are all elevating together. So it depends on you as an individual, the team members on your guide group, and the energy everyone has and what they're trying to do for their own self progression.
Mhm.
Because everybody is evolving.
Okay. Can there be times of conflict where the guides don't agree with you, or you and the guides' energies aren't clicking?
Every day. Times. Yes, there can be times of conflict, but we try. We try to manage that. That's part of the training. I mean, imagine how frustrating it is if you're a guy and you're dealing with a person who never listens, who doesn't hear you even, who has tuned you out, doesn't even recognize that you exist.
Hmm.
That's conflict. I mean, right in that is conflict in and of itself. And then you're trying to help them. So then you have to start working with other people's teams around them just to work with them. You have to go around them to get to them because they can't hear you. So you got to find somebody who does listen in their circle of influence, a friend, a family member, and then you got to
Oh,
work with their team to get them to do stuff.
wow. Wow.
So it's not that there's conflict, but there's conflict.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. And so,
that's some hard-headed people.
guides get a little frustrated sometimes.
I mean, like in the grand meaning of the word, we're people too.
Yeah.
We have emotions, we have goals, we have things we're trying to accomplish.
Hmm.
We're not as emotional as people on earth, but there's things that we want to do, and we want to do them for you. And when we do them for you, we grow too. It's like this mutually beneficial relationship. That it's frustrating when the people we're working with don't even know, not just don't even know we exist, but imagine, okay, you don't know I exist. That's one thing.
Hmm.
You don't have to understand where this idea came from, but don't discard every idea. You don't have to know why you thought of this song at that moment, but don't just chalk it up to nothing. You know how hard it takes to implant a thought?
And even to put a song on the radio.
Yes, oh my goodness. You've been thinking of a song and then it plays on the radio. That is not chance. That takes some orchestration.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It must.
So don't take it for granted. Like when you see those synchronicities,
Hmm.
people have been working their tails off to make those things line up. I mean, you may have like teams, the DJ's team and the person who is on Facebook saying they want to listen to the song, their team had to chime in, and then you had to turn the radio on to your team. Like it's a lot.
Wow.
It's a lot. So don't take it for granted.
Wow. Wow.
It's
Well,
fun though. I mean, it's fun. This coordination, it's fun. But sometimes you're like, wow, I just did all that, and they turn the radio off.
or change the channel.
Or change the channel right before the song was about to play, and they're like, but
Yeah. Wow. Wow. That's good to know.
So you pay attention to the little things, the little synchronicities, because I know it seems little, but in order for something like that to like compress and manifest into this physical reality, it takes spirit a lot of work. It takes a lot of energy.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hopefully we will. I do heed it. I try to listen to those song messages because I get it.
And there's a lot of song messages. I mean, the music is an amazing way to bypass people's like forward mind, because the melody gets in there and suddenly you're humming it, and then you realize the song you're humming has something to do with something you're going through, and that we can like try to get in that way. So I love music in that way. Yeah.
Hmm. And then when the song keeps playing over and over in your head.
Yes, it's a message, which is why music And what you listen to is so important, but we won't get into that right now. The messages in music, what you're putting into your psyche is important, but we'll leave it at that. It's programming.
Hmm. Wow. It's kind of deep. Hmm. Okay, well, thank you for that. Let me ask you this one. Do the same guides accompany us on each incarnation?
No. No. In between lives, you're going through your own assessment. They have assessments. They may be going on to different things. If you made an agreement to try again, some lessons, you may have a guide or two who may come back with you. Depending at your level and who you're working with, you may be assigned to another guide, a master guide, and it can change. During your life, it can change. In between lives, it can change.
Okay, so
Because your guide may be coming back here too.
oh,
So you never know what those dynamics are going to be, and you never know. You may say, "I'm at a level where I want to help someone, so I'm going to be a guide in between lives. I'm not going to come back and incarnate. I'm going to be a guide to someone who is a newer soul than I am, because I have some wisdom and I can learn on this team and develop myself further." You can learn a lot as a guide because you are going through everything with that person. Indirectly, you're going through everything with that person. So you're learning a lot about how the human mind works, how humans operate and make decisions, and backpedal and get fear, and how you can help them overcome it. It's a lot, but you can learn a lot.
so are you always there with us?
What do you mean by always?
I mean,
There's some moments that we'll give you your space. We don't
Okay.
necessarily want to be always there. Y'all have some human things you have to do.
yes, we do, but
So, but we're always. You can always call on us.
no matter where we are.
No matter where you are, you can always call on us. Because it's okay. So imagine, okay, you're a mom.
Yes.
Your daughter can call on you.
Yes.
You're not always right there. But if she needs you, she calls on you. You may have other things you're doing.
Okay.
But if she really needed you, you call on her. If you knew she was trying to make some important decisions, you might be thinking about it and give her some input. Now, as a guide, I hate to say it, I'm sure you guys will be like, what? Humans are not our only life.
Hmm?
Yeah. Like, our person, you figure it's a 1-to-1, sometimes like 4 or 5 plus ratio. You're not going to get 100% of our time 100% of the time. That would be ridiculous. No. We give you some guidance. We try to give you some space to work things out. And then we have to come back, give you some more guidance, give you some space to work things out. We'll give you an idea, see what you do with it. But in the meantime, well, you guys don't know all that we do over here, but we hang out, we have fun, we socialize, we train, we learn, we grow, we do the same things. But our job is you, as a guide. We go, I mean, like, I won't say we go home at night, so to speak, but yeah.
Wow.
We're not just floating around you all the time. That would be nauseating, honestly.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
We love you, but that was, I mean, seriously, can you imagine, like, constantly being by your side through every single waking moment of your life?
Well,
We were always available. Yes.
okay.
Always on call. We will be there like that if you need us.
Okay. What's happening when we call on a guide and it seems like we don't get an answer?
Well, what do you mean? When you just say, hey,
You
my
know,
guide, I need your help?
yeah. Like say I'm meditating and I'm looking for some information to come through, or I'm open and I'm seeking something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I may not know exactly what it is, but I'm assuming that you do.
Sometimes you have to go find. Okay, so your guide team
Mm-hmm.
does not necessarily have your higher self on that team. So there's sometimes we have to be like, you got to go find your higher self, chit chat. What is she talking about? What is she looking for? How can we support you? What are you looking to accomplish? Because you may not have the answer immediately. Because if you're still formulating the question, you don't even know what you want. That's a big cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And then our team has to discuss, and we've already discussed the fact that we sometimes don't always agree on the course, and we have to have some discussion around what the answer or what the guidance we need to give you is.
Mm-hmm.
So you aren't going to get an answer if you don't even know what your question is, and we haven't had a chance to talk to your higher self. Your higher self probably knows, and we can chat with her or him, get that, and give you some insight, or just tell your higher self to give it to you.
Oh, okay. So you do work with a higher self.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let me then do you also have a higher self? Is that correct? Guides have a higher self?
We do, but when we're in spirit, there doesn't have to be that separation.
Oh. Okay.
If I come down again, part of me stays here. That's your higher self. It's just the part that stays here when you come into human or physical form.
Okay, so let me ask you this then, because I've been studying the 7 cups, and in that understanding, I have a team, and I'm told that that team has a higher self.
The team has a higher self?
The team have higher selves.
Well, we all have. Okay. When you are in spirit, you are complete. When all of you is in spirit, you are complete.
Okay.
So, if any of us manifests into a physical form, part of us remains in spirit.
Mm-hmm.
When you return to spirit,
you connect back to
you complete yourself again.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So I understand. I understand.
So yes, we all would have a higher self,
but you're connected to it.
You're connected to it.
Okay. So, when
this is fun.
Great. I'm glad. So when I speak to my team, and I speak to my higher selves, and I'm asking them to set, to model energy, connection, love, joy for someone else that I love. How does that work?
Well, if you're talking to your higher self to do it, so hold on. Okay. All right, so as a higher self, and I had to come in because this is a question that's so appropriate for me.